Joining me now, Indiana Congressman, House Armed Services Committee and Intelligence, Emerging Threats and Capabilities Subcommittee member Jim Banks. Congressman, you've introduced legislation to make vandalizing memorials to former presidents and founding fathers a federal offense. Does it have any chance of moving forward?
Well, I hope so. My legislation mirrors what the president is trying to do also in making a federal crime to tear down our nation's statues, especially those in Washington, D.C., those of our founding fathers, those who signed the Declaration of Independence. America has had enough of this. It's getting to a point where it doesn't make sense. We're tearing down statues of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, two of our heroes who are not in the least bit controversial among many others. And America is waking up to it. They see which leaders are trying to do something about it. They recognize that there's not a single Democrat in Congress who has spoken out against the mobs tearing down these statues. They want their leaders to do something about it, and that's why I introduced my bill to make it a federal crime.
Lee, so of course it isn't just about Confederate monuments. It is about tearing down a statue honoring Frederick Douglass, which just speaks to what people have been saying all along. These vandals and these criminals don't know U.S. history. And they're angry mobs that will just destroy anything.
They
yeah, and I think there's a lot of confusion out there about what is going on and what the American people are really struggling with right now. So the Republicans are all being labeled in one way as racist for not supporting this. On the other hand, when they're trying to stand up for things, people are saying that they're insensitive. So it's one of the things, you're either with us or against us, and it's really, really difficult to get to the bottom of all of this. And neither party is really helping the other come together. What I think is interesting right now is Joe Biden is the candidate, and people are saying is going to be the one who's able to unify us. How do you respond to that?
Congressman?
Well, either these angry mobs tearing down statues don't know American history, or they want to erase it altogether. And the very fact that you have one party, you have a president who's speaking out against it in his speech both at Mount Rushmore, his speech on the 4th of July, which I was there to hear. He's speaking out against it. You have another party led at the moment by Joe Biden who on the 4th of July wouldn't even say that he loved America or show pride in America or our history in his speech. The American people see the difference. It's very clear to them. They see that one party is trying to do something about it and one party's not.
That was one thing in the editorial in the Wall Street Journal that highlighted how the president's speech was characterized by media outlets, including the New York Times, the Los Angeles Times, the Associated Press, and the Washington Post, that President Trump is stoking a culture war at the Mount Rushmore speech, divisive culture speech ahead of Independence Day, warning of left-wing cultural revolution. In fact, contrary to media reporting, the Wall Street Journal op-ed page writes, the America Mr. Trump described as one of genuine racial equality and diversity. And Frederick Douglass and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. also believed that to be true, and Mr. Trump cited them both, that these immortal words set in motion the unstoppable march of freedom, that all men are created equal.
It was a great speech, and he spoke about our heroes. He spoke about racial equality, about what we aim for in America, and he said our best days lie ahead. I don't know how anybody could listen to that speech and not feel good about America or America's story, and President Trump delivered it very well.
I want to move on to China and the president's agenda there. Two aircraft carriers, USS Ronald Reagan and Nimitz, launching jets and planes in the South China Sea over the weekend to stimulate sustained attacks. The move was one of the largest military drills in recent years as China held its own large-scale drills near the Paracel Islands. Congressman, what do you make of these drills?
Well, there's nothing that shows America's strength and American power better than the United States Navy, and I'm partial to that because as a Navy officer myself. But the Reagan and the Nimitz in the South China Sea, we've only had two aircraft carriers in the South China Sea twice since 2001, and that shows you what we're up to in that region. I'll tell you what the best way to put this is, while China tries to prevent freedom of the seas and freedom of the skies in the South China Sea for everyone else, America is there to protect it. And that's the difference between America's interest and China's interest. Well, they try to block it. We're there to protect freedom for all of our allies and countries abroad, and that's why I'm very proud of the United States Navy for what they're doing at the moment in the South China Sea.
Congressman, thank you so much for being here. It was great to see you as always, Congressman Jim Banks. Take care.
Thank you.
President Trump just tweeting about the